Hey, thank you so much for joining us for our weekly devotional. Today, we are going to start a new study. We're going to start working through the book of Hosea. And so we're going to really just take one chapter at a time and really just look at what is going on, kind of the overall idea in each chapter, and look at a devotional thought. In other words, what you and I can take from it and really apply to our life this week. So let's look in Hosea chapter 1. And I'm going to be just kind of talking about some of this first, and then we'll zoom in and we'll read part of the text in chapter 1. So first of all, the prophet Hosea is during the years of Uzziah, Jotham, Ahaz, and Hezekiah, the kings of Judah. So 8th into 7th century BC. And so these kings are the ones who are ruling over the world there that they know of in Israel. And so Israel and Judah are separate kingdoms, and they are both of the lineage of the people of Israel when King David, King Solomon ruled, and then it became two separate entities. So they're kind of addressed differently in this book, and that's one of the things that you'll want to keep in mind. So the prophet Hosea starts talking to the northern kingdom of Israel, and he is told to take a wife who is a prostitute, which is obviously a little shocking. And so when he does that, she has a wonderful name. Her name is Gomer, which, goodness, don't name your daughter that, right? But her name is Gomer. And so Gomer becomes pregnant and has a child. And in this book, things are very symbolic. The marriage is symbolic. He's told to take a wife of prostitution because the kingdom of Israel has played the harlot with God. And so the marriage that Hosea is in is to show that in its imagery. And then the child that she has first is named Jezreel. And Jezreel is named that because, according to the text, because God is going to punish the people at Jezreel. We're told that specifically in verse 5 of Hosea 1. And so not a real nice beginning here. Two bad things have happened. And then we get another child from Gomer and Hosea. And this one is named Lo Ruhama, which translates not loved or no compassion. And the idea is that he uses this as an instance to tell the kingdom of Israel that he will no longer have compassion or love for them because he has grown frustrated with them. And then they have a third child. And at this point, things take a little bit of a turn because they have a son who is named Not My People. And that's where we're going to pick up the story today in verse 9 of Hosea 1. And the Lord said, "Name him Lo Ami, not my people. For Israel is not my people, and I am not their God. Yet the time will come when Israel's people will be like the sands of the seashore, too many to count. Then at that place where they were told, 'You are not my people,'" so evidently at the same place, there it will be said, "You are children of the living God." Then the people of Judah and Israel will unite together. They will choose one leader for themselves, and they will return from exile together. What a day that will be, the day of Jezreel, when God will again plant his people in his land. In that day you will call your brothers Ami, my people. And this is playing off of the name of that child again, who was named Lo Ami, not my people. Here it says, in that day you will call your brothers Ami, my people, and you will call your sisters Ruhama, the ones I love. And so in this, there's a couple of things that stick out. First of all, God has proclaimed already that Israel is going to be rejected, that he has turned away from these particular people. But then we're told that later on a time will come when the people of Judah and Israel unite together. Well, this didn't happen in the prophet's lifetime. It didn't happen anytime at that point. Within the near future of this prophecy is what I mean. And so obviously, this is looking forward in time, forward historically, um, predicting the future type of prophecy is what we're looking at here. And so this will be a day when the people are planted back in the land, and they will have a new leader, and they're going to return from exile. And so, in a sense, this happens at the time when Cyrus declares that the Jewish people can return from exile in Persia and go home and rebuild Jerusalem. But in another sense, it doesn't really happen until Jesus comes. And then we have someone who comes on the scene who leads all of the people, who restores the kingdom of God. He talks about the kingdom of heaven is at hand. He does things that show us that he is this promised one, this chosen one, this day where we can become brothers and sisters again, a day when we become children of the living God, and all these things become true in Jesus. And so for those of us who read this in the 21st century, it gives us a little bit of hope in two following ways. First of all, just as Israel is told they're not my people, that they have been wicked and rebelled against God, and that they're wicked, they're rejected. Well, you and I are also, we're sinful like those people, but we live in a different time. We live in that second reality, the second thing that I wanted to get to, which is that you and I in the 21st century look forward to the return of Christ, but we're also living in this time when we have a chance to become children of the living God, when we have a chance to be called one of those brothers or sisters. And so you and I can have that gift and can experience the hope that Hosea had in this passage. Now, the other thing that we need to remember is that this sort of example that we see in the person of Hosea is not something that we're necessarily supposed to follow today. And so on the other hand, so I would say on the one hand, there's this example of Hosea marrying this questionable woman and having, all these children that symbolize something else. On the one hand, we're not doing that, right? That's not what we're called to do. But on the other hand, Hosea is listening to the Lord, and that's what you and I are asked to do each and every day, is to be obedient to God in the day and the time that we live in the same way that Hosea was. Because when we do that, we can look forward with hope to the future, just like Hosea did. And we have an advantage here because you and I get to experience the hope that Hosea only could hope in. We get to experience that blessing of Christ in and amongst us in the world today. So I hope that gives you something to think about this week, and I hope that will help you be more obedient to the Lord today. Let's try to do that this week, and I hope that you will join us again online here, whether that's Bible study, in person, prayer time, Monday at 3, whatever it is. We hope to see you again soon.